Seeing that it's 6:09, I will call the meeting to order. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting will be recorded and can be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours of the meeting. This public meeting is being conducted remotely. The following information is also provided for the members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely, from a computer, please use this link to join the public meeting, and there's a link provided, or from a telephone dial, the toll-free number 888-474-54499, and enter the webinar ID 8711-768-1305. If you've not registered with Zoom, you'll be asked for your name and email address. Note, no participant ID is needed. Just press pound when asked. Telephone users may dial #9 to request to speak after joining the meeting. Computer and app users may use the raise hand feature to request to speak. And the first item of business is call to order and the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm Mike Mackin, Chairman of the Sewer Commission. I ask everyone to join in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will be providing the flag tonight.
We coming on that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. The following information is also, let's get through this. I will do a roll call to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Eli Torres? Not yet. Joe Hurley?
Present.
Scott Dahl?
Here.
Brett Ramsden?
Here.
And Mike Mackin is here. Let's see, is there any public online tonight? I don't see any.
No, there's no public, but there is staff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should mention the staff. Bill Bernard,
I'm here.
Jane Rinley.
Here.
Good. Let's see. Current business, business manager position.
Well,
So
You wanna
let's,
go to,
I understand that last Tuesday? Bill?
Mike, do you want to start with public comments? See if there's any?
I did. I said
Oh.
it was already public.
Okay. How about any announcements?
Okay. Are there any announcements?
Well, I don't
First
have
of all,
any.
I'd like to welcome the new members. I'm very happy to see that we actually have a full commission now. I'm very happy to see that, everybody's, almost everybody's here tonight. Look forward to working with everybody. We're all kind of on a learning curve together. So I appreciate, all of us, working together as we go forward. Any other comment?
No.
So Bill, I'm going to ask you to lead the discussion on the business manager position.
Okay. All right, so we did interview one candidate. We used the same questions that we've used for the past two sewer business managers. The candidate, we thought she was pretty good. She showed that she had relevant and transferable accounting and customer service skills. She demonstrated that she has good experience, at business, but she doesn't know sewer and she doesn't know our accounting software, Munis. But I think she did demonstrate that she can learn to do the processes needed. And she doesn't have municipal experience. But given that, if we do decide to go forward, I would sit down with her at, 1 month, 3 months, and 5 months, and then at the 6 month probationary period, see how things are going, make sure it's working out the way it should. But I think before we decide to offer the job to her, I think we need to check her references. And Julie, the HR director, just hasn't had a chance to contact her references yet. So my opinion, I think we should hold off on ratifying the appointment tonight, but I think we should talk to not Scott, to Joe, and if Eli was here, talk to Eli about their feelings on the candidate.
I agree. Joe, any feedback you can provide?
Yeah, I thought it was a good interview. She seemed, serious about work, in her current role. I don't know how to really explain that, but she seemed like she's interested in being productive at work and being like a substantial contribution in the workplace. She's not just looking to come and punch a clock and get a paycheck. She seemed to have, experience learning more about the business she was working with. She has run her own business. She seems intelligent, humble. I had no reservations. Having said that, I don't fully understand the scope of what her job would be, and I'd have to trust in Bill and the HR manager. I would just caution. I don't know. I'm sure Julie is swamped. I don't know if there's anyone else. We're really not allowed to or supposed to get involved in the process, is what I understand. I'm interviewing people, 5-10 people a week, and like my concern would be she's already found something else, kind of thing. I don't get that vibe from her talking to her, but I usually trying to hire managers for a grocery store. Like I've got a week to like phone screen them, get them in for an interview, call their references, make them an offer. I lost them to somewhere else. And, being that she seemed like a serious candidate and a professional person, I would just caution that we probably don't have 2 weeks or something like that to contact references. So I don't know who the other people are that could call references or if that's an HR only process, but that's my only other comment.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
That's okay. Gentlemen, she's pretty young, as I understand. Does she seem like someone who would be self-motivated in this position? It's a position that takes a lot of self-motivation and concentration. I just didn't know if you had a feel for that.
Well, I think so. And she's young, but she does have 10 years experience in the work world or more. Yeah, she seemed pretty eager to do the job and do it well. And I think she said multiple times she'd like to help out other people to do their jobs.
Good.
I don't think she realizes how much her job's going to be. I don't think there's much time to help other people, but she did say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she get a good view of the list of what her expectations would be, that paper you sent us earlier, with her job expectations and what, where she's working and what she'd be dealing with? She read that thoroughly?
She did. But that only tells you so much, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean,
until
it's a
you're
pretty
sitting
good
in the
overview.
seat. Yeah, until you're sitting in the seat, you really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
I was just gonna say, like I think one of her current frustrations with her job right now is that she's expected to work significantly longer than she originally signed up for. Like she's paid for a 40-hour position and she's putting in 50 plus, and there's no opportunity to move up or room for a raise or so I don't think she's a stranger to work. Like I think her biggest issue would be not being allowed overtime, and I don't know if that means in that job you just sort of do it anyway kind of thing, but she didn't seem like the kind of person that was afraid of a heavy workload.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I suppose if she was working for a law firm at some point, which I read, I don't know if that was her last gig or not, but I've got some experience, not me, but someone close to me was a legal secretary for many years, and they aren't appreciated in the workload. Goes way beyond expectation, so I could see that. That says a lot about her that she was there 2 years or whatever it was, a year.
I think that was a few positions ago, but I don't
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I don't recall
like-
how recent that was, but
It's still a very challenging thing, but if she's most recently been putting in that kind of hours, I agree that she's not afraid of work. But we're only really expecting 40 out of her here.
Right.
Well,
Oops, it looks like Scott. dropped. Oh,
From our previous manager's experience, it didn't look like it was 40.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, also Paula was special, so. The other thing is she did say she would want to give 2 weeks notice. And then she said she had something personal at the end of the month, so she probably couldn't start in November anyway. So we do have another meeting in 2 weeks, so we could ratify her then. If the references check out, okay.
So, Bill, we had no other qualified candidates to interview?
We haven't interviewed anybody else, that's correct.
No, we had no other qualified candidates to interview.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I recommend
Just to, for information purposes, who participated in the interview? Besides the three of you and the 2 members?
Yep, that's a good question. Myself, obviously, and Julie Bellevue, the Human Resource Director.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right,
and
well, I guess unless there's any objection, we'll hold this over for the next meeting.
I agree. I did want to say one more thing, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
It's good to know that we have some time with her, but I do want to just keep in the back of, I'm sure you will keep in the back of your mind, Bill, that if the references do pan out, probably reach back out to her and let her know that it's looking good at least, so that she doesn't keep searching elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And believe me, I wanted
what
to start
Joe said.
sooner than later. So
Yeah,
the end of the month, we have to do the billing process. So
right.
really want to see her hit by then.
Right.
But
Well, do you really believe that she'd be able to do the billing at the end of the month?
with Paula's going to have to help us through it. So
That was my next question, which is that Paula will still be available to.
Really? That's
Yes.
goodness. That's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be
So
really helpful for anybody.
right. So the thought was for training was, Paula would walk through the new person right through the whole billing process, over multiple nights, when Paula can do it.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Okay, we'll move on to the next item, which is the assistant business manager position. Bill?
Okay, so it's still advertised. We have a couple of candidates. Some look pretty good, but I think we should wait until we have a sewer business manager.
Yeah, I think we've all agreed on that.
Yeah, because that's going to be their direct report, so they should have a say on the hiring. Yeah. But we do have candidates, so, hopefully we don't take too long and lose them, like Joe was saying.
Curious, external or internal or both?
All external.
All external. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and this hiring atmosphere, I don't know where it is exactly, but it still doesn't seem to be an easy thing out there to grab good people.
Okay, unless there's any other questions or comments, we'll move on. Update on special town meeting articles. Bill?
Yeah. So the accounting for fiscal year 24, which ended June 30th, 2024, is not quite done yet. So the number that we think we're going to put in the article is probably good, but we don't know 100% until all the books are closed. And it's not sure if the books are going to be closed in time to get the article on the special town meeting. So it may not happen.
So what's the impact of that to the budget?
Nothing really. We just have to make the swap of money at the spring town meeting. It would just be done at a later date.
Okay. Oh, so it has no significant impact on the operation to put it off until the annual.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, did we skip a few things? The grease traps and the discussion for hybrid meetings.
I don't think we've come there yet.
Oh, we're still on the sewer business manager higher position. That's maybe your agenda is set up differently.
Maybe
Yeah.
I have the first one that was sent to me.
We skipped a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We went out of
Okay.
order.
Line repairs, Mass One.
Mass one line repairs, okay. So I talked with CTE and they're trying to get it lined up for within the next few weeks. They just wanted to make sure that we didn't interfere at all with the water main job. We're gonna have trucks going in and out. We don't want them digging right in front of the station if we're there. So I gotta make sure that it's not gonna interfere. I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but gotta double check on that. Other than that, they sound like they're getting ready to go, and hopefully, knock on wood, it goes smooth.
Mr. Chair, I have a question. For Bill, actually. Being Mass One and the water line installation happening right now in front of that, and I know there's going to be a little time before that operation starts. Is there going to be a bit of an overlap there with the water line installation, and they going to end up running into each other at all right there? I believe they actually have the new line in the ground adjacent to it, but I didn't know if the hookups were in and that directional drilling was all complete and all that, and how much longer they would need before, on the off chance we lose a lane working on Mass One.
Yep, that's it. That's exactly what I need to coordinate with the water district. So, yeah, I'll reach out to them and see when they're going to be in that area. If it's not in the next few weeks, we're good.
Sounds great. Thank you, sir.
So yes, I did in fact skip over the manhole repair, so I found it now. Bill?
All right, so the manhole repairs, we put the IFB, invitation for bid. It's out on the street. Went out on September 25th. And the bids are due October 23rd. So right after our next meeting. I know at least one bidder is pulled the specs because they had a couple of questions, so we'll be putting out an addendum to answer their questions. So, yeah, well, hopefully that goes well.
Great. So now we get down back on schedule to item F, which is the, sorry, hold on. To the FY24 budget update.
Mike, you might be looking at last
The one that you
last meeting.
sent to me this afternoon.
Maybe I goofed up on that. Because that's not on the agenda, right? Brad, you're not seeing that?
I don't see it either. No.
I'm reading the one that
Yeah.
you sent to me this afternoon.
I wonder if I grabbed the wrong thing. I am sorry,
Okay,
Mike.
so let me go back in and
Yeah.
get the one that was originally sent.
What did I do?
Mike, aren't you a mind reader by now?
Yeah.
That wasn't in my job description.
Oh, you're right, Mike. I sent you the wrong file. That was brilliant.
I knew something was up because Mike is way quicker than
Yeah.
that.
Where's the what's the file called?
Bill was just testing you, Mike.
I had a tough day
Your
today.
first meeting that you're running, he's just giving you there's only a test.
It's funny that the file I sent and the file that I have open in front of me have the same name. I don't know how that happened. But...
You know, look, Bill, it's all good because as long as it's not me, I'm fine.
I like that one.
So now we're at future agenda items.
Well, I'd say let's go up to B.
Grease
Oh,
trap.
grease traps. There we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey. Look where we are.
Bill, let's talk about grease traps.
All right. All right. So, Mike, I just sent you hopefully sent you the right file. All right. So the grease traps. So I kind of hinted at this at the last meeting. So back in February of 23, the commission voted to require permits for the oil water separators. And I'm not sure why it took this long, but the first permits were issued in September of 2023. I wish I knew why it took that long, but I'm sorry I don't. So all the permits for the next year, I just renewed. So which is fine, but our regulation states that the permits are effective April 1st of each year. So we're way off schedule. So I'm proposing that we extend the expiration date on the current permits, which would be October of 2025, until March 31st, 2026, which is like another 6 months, and that will put us back on schedule.
But question,
So-
Bill,
Okay.
is there a fiscal implication for doing that? I assume a permit has a cost to it?
No. Let me think about that now. So October of 25. Actually, no, because we just did. Let me think about it. The fiscal years always get me. So we're in fiscal 25 now, which is July 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025. Yeah, so they wouldn't. So then the next fiscal year, when these are due, October of 2025 would be fiscal
Would be in line with the
26.
fiscal year.
Yeah, it'd be fiscal 26, and March 31, 2026 is in fiscal 26.
Okay.
So we wouldn't lose any money. We'd still
Okay.
get the $150 for each permit in fiscal 26. It'd just be 6 months later.
Okay.
Good question.
So I assume you would like to see a motion to that effect.
Well, you guys might want to discuss it. I mean, this is just
Well,
my thought.
the way that I like to proceed is you start with the motion and then you do the discussion.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion? Oh, wait, before I do the
Now
motion, discussion.
Discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Your-
Joe, what do you think?
Your question before was about whether or not the work would be done at a different fiscal year, or you're worried about the cost of permits?
No, the fact that whether because we were not collecting the permit fee at the time, that would affect our budget. And the
Okay.
answer is no.
So the town has to pay the town for permit fees interdepartmentally, like if we
No,
want
no.
to.
Nope, these oil water separators are businesses that have that, like a
Okay.
car wash or
I see.
a
Okay.
garage.
Yeah, well, the schools
Mm-hmm.
do too, don't they?
Uh,
Don't they have?
No,
It's
Must-
not us taking oil out of the main lines. It's people taking oil before it goes into the lines.
Correct.
correct.
Okay. Okay.
So- The schools have
We have grease, they had grease traps. I don't know that
grease
they have
traps. This
separated.
is
So in that
slightly
case, they do pay us. The town does pay the town,
Well,
Yeah.
only, yeah,
but only on the schools.
the schools.
Just to clarify for Joe.
Right. So just a little background, there's only, I think, 6 of these. Right. And so far, the part of the permit requirement is they have to send us reports. The reports have been coming in. I think one of them was late a little bit, but for the most part, the businesses are doing their part of the permit process.
That's
It's not,
refreshing. 'Cause
you don't have to have a grease trap anywhere you have a 3-compartment sink.
Yep, so that's a different permit. That's a
Okay.
grease trap permit. So like a restaurant has a grease trap permit.
Okay.
So these are oil water. So like a service garage where you get your car fixed,
Okay. All right.
or like a car wash, or
Okay.
what's the other one?
I understand. Okay.
Any other discussion?
Bill, we have 2 car washes on there, right?
We do.
My only, I'm sorry.
Scott, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I just wanted to chime in, just if the permits were expired in April and up for renewal, that money came in April, so that technically was in this year's fiscal?
Nope, so we didn't do them in April. So the
Oh, you didn't
point
even,
of
you
this
didn't even take the,
discussion is to get us
Okay, you
into
didn't-
April. Yeah, we did it in September.
So we took April
Okay.
in September.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm only wondering, do you do a prorated permit on the next one and get back on track, or is it all right sitting where it's gonna sit?
Good question, because
Y- y-
are they covered by permit right now if they never got renewed in April?
right. So everybody just renewed now, so they're good for a year. So I'm just asking, give them a grace period of 6 months, right, where they won't have to pay to get us on the schedule. And we don't have to do it. It's up to you guys.
Well, I'm
We're
not
talking
saying
about
that
we're
it's
talking
not
about
on
the
schedule,
permit.
it's still 6 months on the permit. What does the permit cost?
$150 each.
So we're talking 6 permits at about $75 if we're talking 6 months, right?
Right,
So we're
but
not-
we are getting.
We're not talking a huge resource of revenue for the town.
For the
Yeah.
enterprise fund, right, right, and we will get it in the same fiscal year, we'll just get it 6 months later.
Yeah. That's the only question I had, just to have it out there.
And I don't mean to ask a stupid question, but if in fact, they needed renewal in April and didn't get renewed in April. Were they running without permits till now? Is my question.
No, because the first permits we issued were in September. We didn't do them in April. I don't have the answer why.
But
Mm.
essentially from April to September, they had no permit.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing we could do about it, but I
in
mean,
2023, yes. Right.
Yeah, so
okay.
now the renewals will just be what, we're talking about September? 1 next year?
Well, that's what they are now.
Yeah,
We're trying to get them in line with our regulation. It says April 1st.
Okay, so basically, if I understand correctly, they never got a bill or informed that they needed to update their permits until September.
Correct.
And then they're paying 150 a piece, and then arguably in 6 months, they're gonna have to do another 150. And be like, why am I paying it again 6 months later? So basically, we're talking about giving them a free year, which I know it comes in April, it'll still come in this year. But I just wanted to understand it. I'm not saying I'm against that. And as Scott pointed out, it's not a huge influx, and we don't need upset customers either over such a small item.
Yeah, and it's not a year, it's 6 months.
Right.
yeah, it's 6 months.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? It seems to me that just for the ease of, making everything whole, that, I would recommend voting yes for this going forward. It just seems the simplest way to untie the knot.
I agree. I was just trying to talk it out.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
Okay.
we might be ready for a vote.
Sounds
Yeah.
like it. Sounds like it. So, all those in favor, we'll do the roll call. Brett,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye,
and for myself, aye. Look at this.
Motion carries.
Our first big vote.
Congratulations, Mike.
Okay, we're now, let's see, I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Oh, discussion on the in-person hybrid meetings.
Mhm.
This was something I kind of brought up at the last meeting. It's just a matter of discussion. I don't think we need to necessarily take a vote tonight. If we wish to, that's fine too. But
I have a thought.
Joe,
Can we have to have the public be there, which I think was one of the, or have it open to the public, which was one of the roadblocks. Is there any reason why we couldn't have some number of us, even if it wasn't all of us, sitting at a conference table with a laptop so that we could be in a group and join the same meeting as the public?
as I understand it, that's completely okay. That was something that was dealt with during COVID that became policy for a lot of meetings.
Okay.
Where members of committees could participate remotely. Am I correct on that, Bill?
Yeah, you're correct. So the select board does that now, right? They
Yeah.
have an in-person meeting, but it's also on Zoom. Sometimes, if a select board member's out of town, they're on Zoom. And the public can come to the meeting or be on Zoom.
So one of the things that we wanted to just revisit now is whether it's also worthwhile of attempting, even on a once a month basis to hold an in-person meeting. I mean, I find some benefits to in-person meetings. This is the first Zoom only committee I've ever been on. And it seems to me that there are some valuable discussions that sort of come up when you're in a room rather than, looking at a screen. But that's my 2 cents, and I'm open to discussion from and feedback from the members of, from the other commissioners. And anyone?
So let me just
Start-
offer, let me just offer this up. The DPW conference room can be used for the in-person meeting. It has, it has a computer, there's a camera with a speaker and microphone. And we have a TV you can project up onto, and we do use it for the stormwater task force meetings. So, also like tonight, there's no public here, right? So it's, the conference room's small, but it's pretty rare that we have public. So the DPW conference room can be used for that.
That's where we always used to meet.
Does us
Well-
being in person, do we have to offer then both the public to come virtually and in person?
Again, it's a hybrid meeting, so anybody that wants to join on Zoom is more than capable of joining on Zoom.
Okay.
I have no problem with being in person. I just wonder, were they gonna revisit, maybe pushing it back to your original 7 o'clocks that you used to have, or is that off the table?
Yeah, we'd want Scott to be able to make it. And I'm on board.
I
with
mean,
going.
I can, I'm not worried about it. It's just if I hit the dead zone in Lunenburg when I'm driving through by Stillman and stuff, I may drop off for a little bit, but
Yeah, and we want you to keep your eyes on the road, Scott.
Mhm.
oh, I'm fine. I'm parked now.
I
but,
was just joking.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
So again, what I'm hearing is that there's people like the idea of an in-person meeting, don't like the idea of the hybrid in-person.
I like the idea of the hybrid and in person. And if it's not annoying, if we're doing it once a month, maybe we could do the in person at 7 o'clock to make it easier for everyone to get there. And still keep the Zoom meetings at 6. Does that make sense, or is that too confusing?
No, that's fine. I mean, it's as long as we all communicate and know what's going on, and keep everyone on the same page. We're all getting used to our new seats. So
Yes, we are.
we gotta get a hold of Eli and get this ball rolling.
So perhaps we'll shoot for the first meeting of the month as the in-person and the second meeting being the strictly Zoom.
That's fine with me.
Sure.
I'm game. I'm sure
Out
we'll
of
have to,
curiosity, I know we were saying the in-person meeting does have the ability.
Yes, I'm sorry, the in-person hybrid meeting.
Yeah. So we would basically expect to be there in person, and then we can communicate with each other if we have to. Somebody has to join virtually.
all
Correct.
right.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine with me.
And the meeting's recorded. There's a mic in the center of the table, which I assume is
Yep.
connected to the computer, so everything's recorded anyways, which is required by law, and it'll all work. At some point, if we wanted to, we could start meeting back in the town hall, should we decide to want to. But I'm actually on board with the idea of meeting at the DPW, at least for the time being.
Okay. I don't think we need to take a vote on that. I think it's just a sense of the committee. Bill, does that sound right?
Yeah, I guess so. So the in-person hybrid is 7 p.m. and the Zooms are 6 p.m., right?
That's what I'm hearing from the group.
Yeah. So first Tuesday will be in person at 7.
Okay.
I feel like we should vote on this. I don't know
Okay.
why, but
Then I will accept the motion.
I'll second the motion.
No, I'll accept the motion. Who's making the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. I will make a motion to vote.
and I will second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor, take a roll call. Joe,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
and for myself, aye. Great. Future agenda items? Bill, do you have anything you think we ought to be touching on?
No, I think most of the items that we have kind of just keep on there for updates. But new stuff, I don't know.
Okay,
No.
okay,
Along with anything that comes up between now and the next meeting.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any old business, Bill?
I don't think there's anything we have to go over.
Okay. Public comment? Having no public, we'll move on. You see the upcoming schedule, October the 22nd, which will be the regular Zoom meeting. Then November the 5th will be our first in-person meeting. And then November 19th and December 10th. Brett, I just want to let you know that I will not be available on October the 22nd. It was something scheduled a bit ago. I take my wife away for our anniversary.
Fantastic, sir. And thank you for the heads up.
I have one thing to put on a future agenda. When we
Sure, go ahead, Joe.
sorry about the crying in the background. We when we were appointed to these roles, there was multiple roles open that had different expiration dates on them for re-election. And I don't know what kind of like lead time you need to file paperwork to be on a ballot and things like that. So we should probably
What I would
specify
suggest,
that.
Joe, yeah, Joe, I think the simplest thing is that the way that it will happen is the easiest way to do it is you show up at town caucus.
Okay.
And at town caucus, you will be nominated to be on the ballot and somebody
Okay.
will second it and you will be voted to be on the ballot. I don't think I've ever seen a sewer commissioner being opposed for office.
I figured, but write-in would probably be a challenge too. I just didn't know what you had to do to get it onto the ballot, but okay.
Having been in the school committee, yeah, those are positions that there's rarely opposition.
Well, if you start swearing at the meetings and things, that might.
All righty. So I think we've just had a record meeting in terms of the timing.
Yeah.
Not bad.
We've had,
So,
I think I've been on one shorter meeting than this.
well, in my short tenure, this is the shortest one, but
Yeah.
thank you all. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Scott, for stepping up to the plate. Glad you're
No
here.
problem.
Glad you're here.
I would like to make one comment, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
I would like to thank you for being chairman, and you handled it very well, especially with the wrong agenda in front of you. And, handled that with tact and elegance.
Bill was
and,
just testing me.
that's all it was. Well, you passed the test, and just wanted to say great job tonight.
Thank you so much. Well, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Go for it, Joe.
I'll second that one.
All those in favor? I'll
Aye.
take a roll call. Joe? Joe, take
Sorry.
a roll call vote.
Here.
Brett?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Aye for myself. Thank you all. Have a great night.